Okay, let's talk about mental toughness and money. This is obviously a lightning rod subject, especially in success-obsessed America, where we are taught to go for our dreams and reach for the stars and innovate and create and all these great things, which are all wonderful things. And then sometimes we go out and do it, and money starts to flow like water. Good problem to have, right? Here's the issue. A lot of times we're bombarded, especially now with social media, with people that supposedly have a bunch of money and they're driving Rolls Royces and they're living in castles and flying their own airplanes, and they got helicopters and watches that cost $500,000 and all this crazy stuff. And not that there's anything wrong with any of those things, but frankly, for new entrepreneurs or people that are seeking financial independence, it sends the wrong message. It really does. Because what you really want to do, when you talk about mental toughness and money in a country where, I'm talking about America right now, and of course there's a lot of success-driven countries around the world. I don't know one that's obsessed with success more than the United States. And that's a double-edged sword. I think it's good and it's not so good for different reasons. We can talk about it at a different time. But when it comes to mental toughness and money, here's what I want you to at least consider, okay? You want to become financially independent as soon as you can. And if you spend your money on a lot of flashy things to impress a lot of people, you're not going to get financially independent. Oh, sure, you're going to have a lot of flashy stuff. That's why there's so many people that make a lot of money that have no money. Make no mistake, a lot of the people you see on social media that are flying their own planes and they got helicopters and they're riding around in stretch limousines and showing you their Ferrari, they have no money. Some of them probably do. A lot of them probably don't. And they're sort of playing this success flash game, which is what it is. But you don't want to buy into it. Because if you buy into it, you're going to have a lot of stuff, but not a lot of money. In Texas, I think they call that all hat, no cattle. Right? It's easy to fall into. Make no mistake. It's easy to spend money. It's easy to spend millions and millions of dollars. I never knew that, when I didn't have any money, and then we started making money years ago, and all of a sudden you realize you can write checks pretty quickly. It doesn't take much to put down a credit card and start buying stuff. It's really easy to do, and it's a lot of fun, and it's kind of intoxicating at the same time. The problem with it is you're never going to be financially independent if you do that. Here's the mental toughness angle, I believe, at least on money. You may disagree with this, but I'd ask you to at least consider this idea. After I've been interviewing self-made millionaires around the world now for 39 years, and this is almost always what they say across the board. Not 100%, but I bet 98% of the time this is what they say. Save your money. Live below your means. Invest conservatively, okay? Watch the pennies, because they add up to nickels, and nickels add up to dimes, and dimes add up to dollars. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy your money. It means be a good steward of what you have, because if you do, it will grow. If you understand how money works, if you understand the magic of compound interest, if you study money just a little bit, you don't have to be Warren Buffett, okay? You don't have to be any financial genius, but you have to understand how the basics of how money works, like compound interest and the time value of money and those kinds of things. Just get to the point where you no longer have to work for money, because once you get to that baseline, that's a different number for everyone, of course. Depends how big you need to live. But if you get to a baseline where you don't have to work for money anymore, it's a different life. I don't mean a flashy life. I mean it's a different life. You know why? Because you own it. Think about that. Most people don't own their own time. 99% of people don't own their own time. And you know what? Most people don't have the opportunity to get to the point where they own their own time. But if you're lucky enough to be born in a country like the United States, like Canada, like Australia, like the United Kingdom, et cetera, first world countries with capitalistic, systems where you can build a business, or you can build a great career or something like that, where you have the opportunity, because you won the lottery in terms of where you were born, to be financially independent and run your own life and buy your own time back. If you have that opportunity, I'd recommend strongly that you take it. Forget the flash. If you go out there and make so much money you don't know what to do with it, then go ahead and buy your Ferrari if you want, or helicopter, or whatever crazy thing you want to buy. But you're going to have a lot of money to make sure that you still own your own time. Because if you have a big house or a fancy car or whatever else you're spending money on, but you still don't own your own time, you still have to work for money, you're not rich and you're not mentally tough, because you're a slave to someone else. And I shouldn't really use the word slave because it's a derogatory term, really, and I don't mean it that way, because a lot of people, most people, don't even have the opportunity to do what we're talking about. A lot of it's just luck of the draw that we were born in the right country, with the right time, with the right education, with the right parents that guided us this way, with the right system. A lot of people don't even have the shot. But if you're listening to this or watching this, you probably do have that shot. I'd recommend strongly that you take it. It's far better to be financially independent, control your life and your time, than it is to buy a bunch of stuff that you really don't need. And if you really want it that badly, then make so much money that buying all that stuff really makes no difference in your lifestyle. You still own your time, you're still financially independent. That's fine, that's different. But don't trade owning your time for a bunch of stuff you probably will get bored of, within a few months. It's something to think about. I think that's mental toughness on money. I think that's critical thinking on money. I'd like to know what you think. Thanks for watching.